Hey, it's Dave Chapin. Welcome to the Wolf Sports YouTube channel. NFL free agency begins next week, and these are the top values on the board. The focus for this video will be at the skill players on offense, one each at quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end, plus one under the radar premier defender. This is based on what we watch, not analytics or staring at stats, so this All-22 film will best show some of the ability we see when we scout players. My pick for quarterback would be Marcus Mariota, but we did an entire video on him a few months ago during the season. You can watch why he should be a starter someplace by clicking the top corner of the screen. Another upcoming free agent quarterback who has been undervalued is Jimmy Garoppolo. His time with the Raiders didn't go well in 2023, but that wasn't a good situation. We've seen Garoppolo operate an NFL offense at a high level. The number one thing that's always stood out about him is the lightning quick release. It allows him to fit throws into tight windows. He'll occasionally make a questionable decision, but he's accurate and decisive with the ball. His start in Week 18 of 2 seasons ago against Mike McDonald's defense showed he can still play. Even without starters playing around him for the Rams, Jimmy G was throwing total dots, giving guys opportunities to make plays on his way to 334 passing yards, which was more than Matthew Stafford threw in any game that year. Again, that was against Mike McDonald's defense. Garoppolo didn't just spend the past 2 seasons holding a clipboard. He spent time in Sean McVay's laboratory. That's after years of getting coached up by Kyle Shanahan and Bill Belichick before him. He'll play with great processing, timing, and execution of a scheme if he lands in a good situation. Garoppolo is a highly trained pocket passer who can be a great option in a spot where he's protected by the O-line. You've heard a lot of talk about Breece Hall, though we know now he's getting tagged by the Jets, and Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker, and they deserve it. But it's led to Jaguars running back Travis Etienne becoming a major potential value as a guy who should arguably be right in that tier among top free agent running backs. Etienne just turned 27, and the talent's always been obvious. The former first-round pick has a blend of big playability and a capability to carry the load on offense if called upon. As he's shown, he's dangerous as a receiving option out of the backfield, and I said this is about film, where Etienne certainly does pop, and not stats. But 3 1,000-yard rushing seasons in his 3 healthy NFL seasons are quietly indicative of his production. I think we could see some surprising teams be interested in Etienne, recognizing the possibilities of utilizing him as an offensive weapon. Former first-round wide receiver Jahan Dotson is the biggest value at his position among 2026 free agents. When you're the number 3 receiver behind A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, 2 arguable top 10 receivers, in an offense that also runs the ball with Saquon Barkley, has Jalen Hurts chipping in on the ground, and also distributes to Dallas Goedert at tight end, opportunities are going to be limited. But Dotson made plays when he had to, including both in the Eagles Super Bowl win 2 seasons ago and in a victory over the Giants in 2025 when Brown was out. Dotson has some sneaky Spider-Man ability to snatch passes over the middle, which frankly can probably be utilized more in another situation. He was a number 3 receiver with the Eagles after a very good acquisition that helped pay off with the championship, but it's time for him to be a top 2 receiver on a squad. I just hope he gets that shot. To conclude on offense, tight end Isaiah Likely can be a scary signing by whichever team gets him. Basically, last season was pretty much derailed by a broken foot over the summer, stopping what felt like might have been a potential breakout as a star in year 4. You even had former Ravens head coach John Harbaugh talking about his tight end then Likely as an all-pro. The talent was especially popping off the TV screen in his 2nd and 3rd NFL seasons before last year's disappointment due to injury. He was looking like a monster with an elite catch radius and athleticism with the plays he was making. While there were plus matchups for tight ends, outings against the Dolphins and Bengals in 2025, again after missing early in the year due to the broken foot, displayed a little bit of what he's able to do. Looking back to what he showed in previous seasons, the Broncos would be an amazing fit in Sean Payton's attack, with Bo Nix unafraid to let playmakers go get the ball, like Likely can. Now for the most underrated defender in 2026 NFL free agency, Eagles linebacker Nakobe Dean should be seen as one of the top overall players available. Durability is the only slight concern for Dean, but the Super Bowl champion is just 25 years old, who is the total package as an off-ball linebacker. The leadership is top-notch, which is exactly what you want from someone in the center of your defense, and the former Georgia Bulldogs' value was super obvious in 2025. Working back from his patellar injury in the wildcard round a couple of years ago, Dean made a major impact when he eventually worked back into his full-time role. He's an all-around linebacker with smarts to diagnose plays and help teammates get in the right position, and both the skill and mindset to stuff the run, play well in coverage, and come in like a missile for blitzes. They're at varying levels, but I think certainly all these guys are undervalued as we head into free agency. Is there anyone, including on this list or not on this list, that you want your team to go after this offseason? Feel free to let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a like. Thank you for watching.